mistakes that people make when applying for a credit card. That's the topic for today's episode, and without further ado, let's dive in. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode at Novarise Invest. For those who are tuning in for the first time, this is your channel for financial education. So today's video, it's going to be all about credit cards all over again. And why not? It's very important to understand your credit, and it's very important that you know how to work hard and build it in the most efficient way as possible. So today we're going to talk about the most common mistakes people make when they're actually requesting credit. And without further ado, let's go straight to the board. And let's check this out. So what's the mistake number one that people make when applying for a credit card? And that is to not be selective. Why is it so important to be selective? Well, think about it this way. When you're looking for a mate, call it a girlfriend, boyfriend, spouse, you want the best of the best for you, right? You get to know them, you research them before you even go on the first date, because you want to make sure that you're not going to go out with someone that can possibly hurt you. So it's the same thing with credit cards. You want to make sure that you're selective, because whatever credit that you apply is going to stay with you forever. So you have to do your right diligence to pick the right credit card for you. So what's one of the criteria that I actually take into account for me? So the first one is that it has to have 0% offers. Call it an introductory 0 APR offer, or maybe a 0 balance transfer offer. The second one is that it has to offer some kind of reward points for me. And the third criteria that I look into is, what type of bank is this? Because I want to build a relationship and long-term with this bank, because I am envisioning that down the road, I'll be requesting a mortgage from them. I will be working for them to get a business loan or something that's going to help propel my real estate business or any other business that you have going forward. So you have to be very selective. Now, in terms of points, you also have to be mindful when using points, because you want to make sure that those points are not going to restrict you in terms of using it. So let's say, for example, Anthony applied recently, well, not recently, but some time ago, for a credit card with American Airlines. And it was working great. He was able to use it. They offer a 0% introductory offer, and it allowed him to accumulate miles. And those points were for the sole use of American Airlines miles. He couldn't use it anywhere, and he couldn't cash it for cash anywhere else. And not that isn't necessarily a bad thing, but we have other credit cards, like for example, the ones that we have with Chase, that we don't have to deal with those type of restrictions. We can use the points for cash back. We can use the points for gift cards. We can even use it for travel and any airline, not necessarily American Airlines. And with this, I'm not saying that I don't like American Airlines. It's just simply sometimes the routes that they have are not in the way of where I'm trying to go. So why would I necessarily want to travel with American Airlines if they're not going to fulfill my needs, right? So that's something that you need to take into consideration. Now, mistake number two that people make when they're applying for credit cards is to pick cards that have a high annual fee. So examples of those cards are like the credit ones and the ones with a very weird name I cannot even think of. Why would you want to pay a high annual fee for a credit card when there are other ones that have no annual fee whatsoever and that they're giving you the benefits? Granted, there are cards out there that have an annual fee that are giving you a lot of benefits. Sometimes they give you 2 points, sometimes they give you 3 points, but you have to walk into it knowing that that's what you want to do. Many people apply for credit cards not knowing that they have to pay an annual fee, and then on top of that, they don't get any benefits in terms of reward points. So please don't be that person, and do your proper diligence. Research the available credit cards in the market so that you can get the most out of it. Now, point number three, go with the card that is out of your reach, right? So credit card out of reach. What am I trying to say with this? So let's say, for example, you went online, you check out this credit card, it has great perks, great points, great everything. And what the bank is demanding is that you have to have a FICO of 750, let's say, for example. But you currently happen to have a FICO of 600. But you're feeling a little bit adventurous, and you're saying, you know what? I don't know. That probably they just wrote it down there. Let me just jump at it and see what I get. It's very likely that you will get the 9. And when you do that, not only you get denied for the credit card, which is disappointing, but at the same time, you're hurting your FICO score because now you're getting a hard pull in your credit profile, which could bring it down to 598. And you definitely don't want to do that. Now, let's say, for example, you have something within the ballpark, let's say a 720, and you're aiming for this 750 card. You know, it's a 50-50. There's a high chance that you can get approved for that credit card. In fact, I've actually taken the risk of jumping into a card that it's a little bit out of reach, but I know that I was within that same ballpark. So from 720 to 750, you have higher chances of getting approved for a credit card versus a 600 up to a 750. So always do your proper due diligence to make sure that the card that you're applying, it's going to be the right one for you and that you can actually get approved for that credit card. Now, the next mistake that people tend to make is that they just apply to get a credit card for the sake of getting a credit card. So just getting a credit card just because, right? And you definitely don't want to do that because once again, think of it as a marriage. You want to make sure you're getting the right card. Now, I understand that sometimes some of you might be starting off in your credit journey and you're trying to figure out, okay, what's the best way to build credit? And sometimes the banks with the higher annual fees, the banks that are not very well known, the banks that don't offer any perks, they happen to be the ones that are targeting you and luring you into applying into their credit cards. But it doesn't have to be that way. See, there are other banks out there who offer you the option to get access to a prepaid credit card that can help you build your FICO score, your credit history. Those banks are Citibank, Capital One, and Bank of America. All three of them offer the ability for you to apply for a prepaid card. And the way it works is that you're just simply going to show up to the bank and say, hey, I want to apply for one of your prepaid credit cards, and here's $500. So what the bank is going to do is that they're going to take your $500, they're going to place it in a secure account, and they're going to give you in exchange a prepaid credit card with a credit limit of $500. And then 12 months down the road, you have already built a credit history, and then you can eventually upgrade from that prepaid credit card to an actual regular credit card. Now, for those of you who might probably be wondering, hey, you talked about doing the research, you talked about understanding, the requirements of the credit cards. Where exactly do I go to get that type of information? Well, there's a site out there that's called creditcard.com that you can just simply, go online and check out the credit cards available in the market and see what the requirements are, and then how you can fit into either one of them and which ones offer the best perks for you. Now, I understand that you might have a very busy schedule, and if that's the case and you don't have the time to do all that research, you can also visit our website. And once you access our website, you're going to find a list of credit cards that the Novarise team have used and has, simply approved and has worked out for us. So we are sharing the links for you so you can get a hold of them in the event that you want to save some time and just go straight to the point and find the right card for you. And now I just realized that I ran out of space. So when I clean this board, I'm going to ask you to hit the like button right here to help this episode rank and help others like you who are looking for information of this kind. And if you have some more time, why not just simply subscribe to the video so that way you can keep getting notifications every time a new video is released. Now we got a clean board, so let's move to mistake 5. And that is to settle with whatever they want to approve you with approval. So very few people know about this one, but did you know you can actually fight the approval and actually request a higher credit limit in the credit card? Yes, you can do that. And you can do that as soon as you get approved for a new credit line. So let's say, for example, you go online, you fill up an application, and within a minute you get approved and then they say, congratulations, here's your new credit card for $5,000, right? Great. But it doesn't have to end there, right? You can get more. And what you do is that immediately you call the 1-800 number and then you say, hey, I recently applied for a credit card and unfortunately it's not enough for the large purchase that I'm trying to make. I was kind of hoping to see if you can actually approve me for something higher. And what the rep over the phone is going to say, sure, we can do that. However, that means you're going to have another credit pull. They have to say that because it's standard language. But the truth is, if you're applying on that same day and you're getting a second pull on that same day from the same bank, you will not get that pull twice in your report. You're getting one. It's kind of like you're getting a 2-for-1 deal, okay? So now the next step is, how much more do you want to get approved? My golden rule is just to always request double the amount that I was approved. So if you got approved originally for $5,000, then I asked for $10,000. If you got $7,000 originally, then I try to request $14,000. So now you know. Now, the last point that I want to make here, and that you actually do miss out a lot on, is when you don't go physically to the branch. Go to the branch. Okay, why is that important? Well, remember, I always keep saying over and over again, real estate, it's a relationship-based business. Any business is based on relationship. People do deals with you because they believe in you, they trust you. And there's no different with the banks, right? Nothing beats an in-person relationship and in-person engagement. So in fact, you actually get a higher percentage of getting approved. And not just that, you actually get higher percentages of getting a higher credit line when you go and apply for a credit card in person. In fact, this actually happened to one of our students. She was actually at a bank and running some due diligence with her son. And the rep at the bank actually offered her a credit card. And she said, well, we have this promotion going on with this credit card that if you apply, you will get access to this much funding and yada yada. And she basically said, well, that sounds great, but the amount that you're offering me is not enough, because what I want to do is to get more capital so I can invest more in real estate. And so what this rep did, this person got up, went straight to her manager. And then a couple of minutes later, this person came back and got her double the original offer. And not just double in terms of money, but it also got her double the time and the 0% offer. So instead of getting 12 months, she actually got access to 24 months of 0% credit line to use, all available for her. So there you go. That's pretty much all I have for you today. Hopefully you found this episode valuable, and don't forget to share the love so that other people can learn from the same content that you're actually enjoying today. And while I still have you here, do not forget to check this episode right here. That's going to help you complement pretty much everything you just learned today. And until then, I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.